Your top stories this evening sponsored by Courts, bringing value home. Mark Royden Smalley Durant recaptured, nabbed at police roadblock. Jack Dio threatens to complain to IDB. He is free to complain to whomever he wishes, says Minister Jordan. 69 Guyanese awarded for distinguished service to Guyana. And first batch of hurricane evacuees returned to Guyana tell of devastation left behind. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm Travis Chase with the Tuesday, October 10 edition of the HGP Nightly News. Here's what you need to know this evening. Could it be a change of heart? Finance Minister Winston Jordan says the government is yet to be updated on whether the two Berbice estates which were touted to be closed by year-end will really be closed, or whether there will be further consideration. More details from Rodin James.
The stark reality of the sugar industry came to light in 2015 when the coalition took office. So far, Wales Estate has been closed, and by the end of 2017, Enmore, Rose Hall and Skeldon Estates are heading for Gaisuku's chopping block. Nightly News questioned Finance Minister Winston Jordan about the transitioning plans for thousands of sugar workers who are to be on the breadline. Mr. Jordan says he is unsure if closure will be the option at this time.
I know 2 months we did say the closure of the other two estates or so on, but Cabinet hasn't been updated as to whether these are still on the cards in terms of the agenda that we would have had for them.
The minister said by the end of the next cabinet meeting, the government will be positioned to more firmly disclose their definitive position on those estates.
Or any extending of the date and so on. Because with sugar, it's not as easy as you think. We had budgeted $9 billion for the entire year, this year, and by July, we had disbursed the entire $9 billion.
The minister explained that a special purpose unit is yet to be set up, while the administration is currently recruiting a specialized accounting firm to do the valuations of the estates. The purpose of this unit is to free Gaisuku of the divestment program
and allow them, the personnel, to concentrate on the other aspects of running the remaining estates and the diversification. So that will also include any aspect to do with what you do with lands, how you treat with workers, and their whatever incentive package you may wish to develop for them.
The Berbice Chambers of Commerce and Industry is among the groups who begged the government to delay the estate closures and give the workers to be displaced adequate time to find other employment before closing the estates. Royden James, HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Royden. In the courts, after spending 6 months in a United States penitentiary, a Guyanese man, after being deported last week, has been remanded to prison for attempted murder. More details from Jevon Vickery.
It is alleged that on February 3, 29-year-old Kurt Kendall, being armed with a gun at Mandela Avenue, discharged a loaded firearm at Christopher Marks with intent to murder him. Kendall was not required to plead to the indictable charge. The accused man was wanted by the police for a series of crimes in Guyana, including robbery. Reports indicate that shortly after the incident back in February, Kendall had flown to the United States but was intercepted by law enforcement agents there. He was caught with cocaine at JFK International Airport and was subsequently placed behind bars for 6 months in the U.S. Kendall, after serving his time, was then deported on October 6 to Guyana, where he was arrested at CGIA. Bail was refused and he will return to court on October 17. Jevon Vickery, HGP Nightly News.
3 months to the day after he escaped from the Camp Street prison, Mark Royden Durant, also known as Royden Williams, called Smalley, was recaptured in West Berbice Monday night. According to credible sources, shortly after 9 p.m., Police in Berbice spotted Durant in a passenger minibus as the vehicle was stopped at a police roadblock at Weldad. Police say that Williams' recapture was as a result of an intelligence-led operation. In a press release to the media, police confirmed that the Bartica massacre convict was unarmed at the time and was not sporting his dreadlocks. He reportedly cut those dreadlocks at an East Coast village. Prison authorities believe that Durant was the mastermind behind the July 9 decimation of the Camp Street jailhouse and would want to question him about it. One man who claimed to have shared a cell with Durant is likely to be questioned by police regarding this statement he made to Nightly News weeks ago.
It was finance that the gun could have reached in the jail and things would happen. But then after, I don't know what really happened. Make things happen, how it happened.
How could you gun reach in the jail?
What small man come out with?
Smalley.
Yeah.
It was financed.
But things don't come in jail by magic. And prison officers don't bring things in jail for free. And for a prison officer to bring a gun in jail, you got to talk in real money. It's not a phone we're talking about anymore, or a pound of marijuana, or some bamboo front. It's a gun we're talking about. I wouldn't know his case. I know he was a cool prisoner. I know they pushed him beyond the extreme. They had him locked down in strong cell.
Police also want to question Durant about his alleged presence at this house in Linden, where escapee Yuri Varswick was shot and killed. It is the police's story that Varswick and Durant shot at them when the convicts were cornered. Kobina Stevens, also known as OJ, and Paul Goraya are still at large. The Guyana Police Force had offered a $10 million reward for information leading to the arrest of the escapees. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
The first batch of Guyanese hurricane evacuees arrived in Guyana on Monday night after suffering significant personal losses when Hurricane Irma wreaked havoc on the British Virgin Islands last month. Kristen Macklingam was at the airport when they arrived and spoke with some of them.
We're here at the Eugene F. Correa International Airport, where the first group of evacuees from the hurricane-hit islands have arrived. It's a bittersweet moment for a number of persons here.
Words could not describe the emotions of the Guyanese nationals who stepped off the Trans-Guyana Airways aircraft late Monday. They had all suffered severe losses on the hurricane-ravaged island of Tortola. However, a few of them managed to tell their tales about the devastation left behind in the British Virgin Islands. The first person to step off of the aircraft was Randy Ragnott, who lost his father Derek Ragnott in the storm.
Very devastating. It's scary and it's unbelievable. It's total destruction. The place is in a total chaos. Trying to get everything sorted out back. People trying to get a livelihood back together. Unfortunately, my dad was not able to make it, and I'm here to try to get his body back to Guyana because the entire family wants him here for burial. So that's it. And when the wind started, it created a huge hole in the front door, and we had to run towards the bathroom. There's where we had ourselves for like 2 hours racing on the bathroom door.
Nansha Lee Fox, another hurricane evacuee, shed light on the magnitude of the damage that Hurricane Irma unleashed on the island in which she lived.
It was a lot of damage, you know. A lot of people lose their houses, lost. The house that I stayed in, it lost part of the kitchen roof, you know, but everybody was alive and well and accounted for. Well, I don't plan to be going anywhere else anytime soon. So I'll be home for a little while, for a long time. I'll just go for vacation, take the kids and come back.
A Guyanese mother who was at the airport to receive her daughter expressed gratitude to the government for its assistance in bringing her daughter and others back to Guyana.
I mean, it's a bittersweet moment to have your child back home.
Yes, I'm happy that my daughter is alive and well and she's back home in Guyana. And thanks to the government for doing that.
10 Guyanese nationals were evacuated to Guyana Monday night by a Trans-Guyana plane, which touched down shortly after 7 p.m. Meanwhile, according to Minister of State Joseph Harmon, additional evacuation flights are scheduled throughout this week, and focus is being placed on reintegrating children into the education system here as soon as possible.
You can see that there's a large amount of children here. They seem to have been given priority in getting out.
Chief Executive of Trans-Guyana Airways Michael Correa explained the vital importance of chartered airlines stepping in to offer assistance in crises of this nature.
When an island gets devastated with hurricanes, a lot of the scheduled airlines like Liat and other airlines actually stop operating out of there. So it is very difficult to move people. Also, people lose their identification, their passports and so on, so it's very difficult for them to move. So it is a much easier run to have private charters to go and pick them up, and I think that that is the usual practice, and of course we're happy to play our role.
Reporting for HGP Nightly News, I am Kristen Macklingam.
Thank you, Kristen. Former workers of Wales Sugar Estate and their spouses have complained bitterly to the media about the serious challenges they are facing since the closure of the estate. Their union is demanding that the workers be paid their promised severance. Hear more from Rodin James.
Since the estate closed, we find it real difficult because we have children going to school, we have bills to pay, we have exam coming up, and every day the child goes is a new assignment, so we have to find money to do assignment. You know, it's really hard on us.
The sugar union GAU has once again brought former sugar workers and their spouse to the media to highlight their grievances, which are wholly related to the impact of the closure of Wales Sugar Estate on the lives of those workers and their families.
I facing it reasonable hard, and when I say reasonable hard, when the estate was in operation, things used to run reasonable nice. Everybody used to live in, at least people used to try to live in a way that they could maintain their family, and everybody living in hard. But right now, nothing in doing. The place in a terrible state.
Gaisuku closed the Wales estate in 2016 after it was found that the facility was the company's least productive unit and one which was draining the coffers. Gaisuku had offered the workers employment at its Iflot estate. Some responded positively, while many opted not to accept on the grounds that it was too burdensome a task. The government's proposal to lease estate lands to the former Wales workers is also unpopular among the workers.
I think they call some people and they want to give people land till by to the last part of the Baghdad. That is VL. So how could you, if you decide to give land, how could you give people land till at the back of Gadbak? You must give people land in close by area that they could be able to, if they do give, to do the agriculture.
Meanwhile, President of GAU, Komal Chand, said that the union's main concern is to squeeze the workers' severance pay from Gaisuku. The union has taken that matter to court.
If you don't challenge the decision, that is not to pay the workers, then after some time, you will not be able to do so. So the union did the right thing to have the matter taken up in court, hoping that it will be resolved because it is clearly a violation of the law.
Royden James, HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Royden. 69 Guyanese were awarded their insignias on Friday by Chancellor of the Orders of Guyana, President David Granger, for their outstanding contributions to nation building. Jevon Vickery reports.
The event saw several notable figures in attendance, in addition to relatives, associates, and friends of the awardees who filled the auditorium of the National Cultural Center. Chancellor of the Judiciary, Yonet Cummings Edwards, who was awarded the Order of Roraima, explained that the National Award ceremony should be treated as an institution and must also be preserved. She said that the national awards are presented with admiration for exceptional and committed service to Guyana.
And in 1976, some 6 years after the first set of awardees were appointed, the Constitution of the Orders of Guyana was amended and provision was made for 3 Orders of Guyana instead of 2. So these orders are the Order of Excellence of Guyana, the Order of Roraima of Guyana, and the Order of Service of Guyana.
Among the 69 awardees at the National Cultural Center on Friday was the proprietress of HGP-TV, Miss Gloria Fraser, who received the National Arrow of Achievement.
I've been quite honest. My one regret is that my husband isn't here to receive it, because it's because of him that I'm receiving it now, because he's the person that really started the whole process. But he's gone, so I take over. And I'm still there.
Meanwhile, President David Granger, in his feature address to the gathering, outlined that service is all about improving the lives of citizens and making a difference within communities.
Service is about increasing the country's wealth and production. Service is about innovation in education, science, and technology. Service is about protecting and representing the country and safeguarding the national interests. The National Honour System is ordained by the Constitution of the Orders of Guyana. Awards are not ornamental or perfunctory. They are conferred on deserving nominees only after careful deliberation.
One awardee received the Order of Roraima, 5 for the Cassie Crown of Honor, 44 for the Golden Arrow of Achievement, and 14 received the Medal of Service. In addition, 2 received the Military Service Medal Awards, while 3 were honored with the Discipline Service Medal for Meritorious Service. Javon Vickery, HGP Nightly News.
You're watching the HGP Nightly News. Finance Minister Winston Jordan brushed off a threat by opposition leader Bar Jagdeo to write to the Inter-American Development Bank over alleged procurement violations by the administration. Mr. Jordan is telling Mr. Jagdeo to complain to whomever he wishes. Gordon James reports.
Opposition leader Bara Jagdeo told the media last Thursday that he plans to write the Inter-American Development Bank over alleged breaches of the procurement laws by the coalition administration. Mr. Jagdeo is principally unsettled by what he says is the slow implementation of the public sector investment program. The government has already made its position clear on the issue of procurement, and the Finance Minister Winston Jordan did not give much credence to Mr. Jagdeo's threat when asked to respond by Nightly News on Monday.
The opposition is free to write whoever he wishes, and he's free to tell them whatever he wants. You can't stop the opposition leader from doing that. He's pretty good at doing that anyhow. If the then opposition had done exactly what he's doing, who knows, maybe they might have been out of power earlier than they exited in 2015.
Mr. Jordan joked about the vastness of wrongdoings of the previous government that warrant more than a complaint. He also questioned whether the IDB is going to take the complaints of Mr. Jagdeo seriously.
I can tell you Ms. Kaltzman, the senior vice president of the IDB, when she was here, and we have the tape, she said, for example, when I raised the question of international contractors, we haven't been able to attract these international contractors. Her response was she understood the point I was making and so on. But we should be aware that Guyana is still looked upon as a very corrupt country. That's her exact words. Guyana is still looked upon as a very corrupt country, and these contractors, given their reputation and so on, are very afraid to be tainted, right? So they don't come.
Jagdeo said that the PPP was compiling a dossier on Guyana's procurement practices to dispatch to the IDB, one of Guyana's largest donors. Mr. Jordan explained that the delivery of the public sector investment program this year stood at 20%, partly because of moves to weed out corruption and the absence of critical skills.
And she didn't ask us to continue working on improving transparency and accountability. So in a backhand, we did get some kudos for the work that we have been doing to try to get rid of this whole business of corruption.
Meanwhile, the IDB website disclosed that the institution has so far provided $145,000 to carry out diagnostic analysis for Guyana. The bank further stated that an additional funding of $500,000 would be spent to help define top priorities and monitorial indicators to measure the impact of the work completed in those areas, as well as a design of a delivery management model suitable for Guyana. Royden James, HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Royden. Government cannot single-handedly develop a nation, and therefore each region and town must cooperate to further advance the country in every sector. Hear the story from Kristen Macklingam.
Madhya is still to be granted its township status, but in the interim, plans and projects can be undertaken in Region 8 to help market what it has to offer locally and internationally. Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu, during a recent visit to Region 8, stated that Madhya, like Lethem, has a lot of potential, and therefore residents need to use the opportunity to market their products.
So you have in Madhya products that you like, whether it is necklaces or whether it is hammocks that you like to advertise, whether it is kazarip, you'd like the world to know that you have certain specific products you like to put on the market.
According to the Prime Minister, there is a notion among two factions of the Guyanese population. Some who live on the coastland believe they are enjoying better amenities, while some living in the hinterland feel neglected.
Because they have been considered to be children of the forest, bush people, we don't entertain any such derisive description of any set of our people, any part of our population.
He added that another major step in helping hinterland residents bridge gaps with those living on the coastland is to make good use of the communication tools available in Madhya and train locals to help develop their communities.
More importantly, Patamonia is spoken in several parts of this region, I'm told. And you need also to start training broadcasters from among you that they could go on air and they can speak to you and read the news to you in your own language in Patamonia so you understand what is being said.
Reporting for HGP Nightly News, I am Kristen Macklingam.
Thanks for staying tuned. I'm Stanford Howard with the HGP Sportscast. We begin with football. Representatives of the Guyana Football Federation Regional Member Association received trophies for the GFF Namilco Thunderbolt Flower Power National Under-17 Intra-Association Tournament. Colwyn Abrams has more in this report.
This was done in the boardroom of the Guyana Football Federation on October 4 by the president, Wayne Ford, and marketing consultant of the National Billing Company of Guyana, Hafiz Khan. Ford acknowledged some of the challenges experienced by the regional member associations during the tournament, especially those posed by inclement weather. He pointed out that the construction of the Guyana Football Federation's National Training Center will address this. He emphasized the importance of the RMAs executing the tournament in the established timeframe. Ford said, "Everything is connected to something. For example, the Under-17 Namilco tournament connects to the CONCACAF Under-17. It simply means that if you execute within the time frame, your players will not be left out of the selection process. We want each and every one of you to not be left out." Khan, while noting Namilco's contribution, encouraged the RMAs to seek regional sponsorship to offset minor expenses related to the tournament. Khan said, "When the community gives you money, you have to show what you did with the money so that they can continue to give you more. If you account for the money you received from the community, your chances of getting more will increase. We at Namilco are looking for results. It is time you look at yourselves and what you can do for your community." The Guyana Football Federation Namilco Thunderbolt Flower Power National Under-17 Intra-Association Tournament is an ongoing tournament, which seeks to, among other things, develop youth players as part of the player development pathway to the senior national team. For the HGP Sports, Colwyn Abrams.
Thank you, Colwyn. In the aftermath of the incident which East Coast schoolboy Glyn Sean Skeet was tragically killed by a goalpost at Pleasance, the Guyana Football Federation has established new safety policies regarding the establishment of movable goalposts. The guidelines were communicated to the Regional Member Association last week as the GFF seeks to ensure the safety of its stakeholders, including students. Among the guidelines outlined for the safety use of the equipment are all goalposts must be securely fastened to the ground by any means possible during and after use. A warning sign must be posted at all football venues. Do not swing and or climb onto any goalposts. Players must be warned of the dangers associated with the misuse of goalposts. Children must not be permitted to play unsupervised under and around goalposts. All goalposts must be inspected regularly to ensure they are structurally sound. Football games must not be played with unsecured goalposts. In cricket, Colwyn Abrams updates us on Day 2 of the 2017 GCB Jaguars 3-Day League, Round 6.
On Day 2 of the 6th round of the 2017 Guyana Cricket Board Jaguars 3-Day League, East Bank continued their innings against Upper Currentine, with Sachin Singh attaining 60 runs, Ronaldo Ali Muhammad 55, and Colin Ben 31. East Bank put up an acceptable 240 all-out in 87.5 overs. Sean Pereira collected 5 wickets for 67 runs for Upper Currentine, along with David Lachia, who captured 2 for 21, while Clinton Pestano, Ian Hooper, and Dimitri Cameron collected a wicket each. Upper Currentine then commenced their innings with the opening batsman putting up a 201 partnership of 49 overs, leading by 223 runs. Over at Bushlot, West Berbice, resuming on their overnight score of 226 for 8, were dismissed for 231. Bowling for Georgetown, Gajnan Suknanan grabbed 5 for 75. Georgetown, facing a first inning deficit of 75 in batting a second time, folded for 151 to set West Berbice a meager score of 77 to win. Batting for Georgetown, Ovid Richardson made 24, Martin Pestano Bell 23, Sunil Singh 17, and Captain Paul Wintz 23 not out. Bowling for West Berbice, Gudakesh Moti took 5 for 35 and Andrew Dutchin 3 for 55. West Berbice won by 8 wickets. In the match of Lower Currentine versus West Demerara were all out for 331 runs. Tevin Imlach failed to add to his overnight 119, Richie Lucknott 45 not out, Karan Arjpal 4 for 56, and Kasim Khan 3 for 81. Lower Currentine in reply was 146 for 8 before close of play at Young Warriors. Alex Algu 61 not out, Karan Arjpal 1 not out, and Kasim Khan made 25 as the next significant score. Bowling for West Demerara, Mahendra Danpal, Keshram Sohiden, and Akshay Prasad each picked up 2 wickets. For the HGP Sports, Colwyn Abrams.
Thank you, Colwyn. Sri Lanka denied Pakistan to win the final game in their 2-game series by 68 runs, chasing 317 for victory in Dubai. After bowling Sri Lanka out for 96 in their second innings in the day and night match, Pakistan were well placed at 222 for 5, but they collapsed to 248 all out, as off-spinner Dulwan Pair took 5 for 98. Asad Sharif made 112, adding 173 for the 6th wicket, with skipper Sharif Ahmed, who scored 68. And to end the sports scars, we bring you a cricket update. West Indies A in a home series against Sri Lanka A starts tomorrow in the first test match at Trilani Multi-Complex in Jamaica. And West Indies Women Open 2021 World Cup bid against Sri Lanka women tomorrow as well at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy in Trinidad, starting from 9:30. And that has brought us to the end of this edition of the Sportscast. Back to you, Travis.
Mark Royden Smalley Durant recaptured, nabbed at police roadblock. Jack Dew threatens to complain to IDB. He is free to complain to whomever he wishes, says Minister Jordan. 69 Guyanese awarded for distinguished service to Guyana, and first batch of hurricane evacuees returned to Guyana tell of devastation left behind. Those were our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm Travis Chase. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.